Hey guys, this is Hein and today I'll give you 5 tips that you can use to help you get to sub 50 on Megaminx. Sub 50 on Megaminx was the hardest period for me, but it is doable. All the timestamps for each step are in the description below. Tip 1. Star and F2L. This step is extremely important because having a good start usually builds confidence in the solve. During the inspection you need to see all the star pieces or at least 4 and an F2L pair. Use as much inspection as possible and plan as much as you can. X stars are very rare, but they can be useful every now and then, so look out for them. Learn as many setups as possible because when you do setups without thinking, it can help immensely. This is what a setup is. Now I'm going to show some handy setups that you can use. So for this case, what you can do is you can, instead of just inserting then inserting, you can do an F right here, a U to set them up, and then just F R prime, and then like that you insert it in both. So that's actually what a setup is. You just insert 2 star pieces at the same time, or maybe even 3. Here's another helpful one. So when you have something like this, the purple goes here, green here, red all the way back here. So we know we're gonna do an R2 or R3 prime to insert this green. So we want to get the red piece either here or here. So how we can do that is we can do an R prime, we can start with an F prime and then a U. So you can set up it like that and then just insert. But there are cases where you want to do 3 star pieces at the same time. So for instance here we know we're going to do yellow, we can do an F2 prime to insert, and blue goes here, purple goes here. So you want purple here and blue here. So you can just do this, do the F2 prime and insert all 3 of them at the same time. So there's going to be a lot of times where you can even do 3 star pieces at the same time. So just look out for those in your inspection and you'll be fine. Rotate less during star. You can only do this if you plan as much as possible during inspection. For F2L, all I can say is that you will have to find efficient ways to pair pieces as well as better ways to insert them. This will all come naturally after doing a lot of solves. Most efficient F2L stuff you'll find out yourself. It's not that hard, you just have to do a lot of slow solves. But just some handy tip, you should already know how to insert this piece at the back if you are considering sub 50. But a helpful tip is when you have it here, it's just R2 prime, U2 prime. But let's say you have it here. Instead of doing R2 prime, regripping U2, this is a very handy finger trick. You can do this, R2 prime, U2, like that. So it's R2 prime, U2, like that. That's a very handy finger trick. Another quite helpful thing is if you were at this angle and you need to insert this pair here, this will be 5 moves. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to insert the normal way. But a much more efficient way, which is 4 moves, is to do an F, R2, U, F prime. So that's only 4 moves. So what I used to do with this pair, insert it here, I used to do an R3 prime and insert like that, which is very inefficient. So just a very quick way of doing this is like this. F prime, R2 prime, F, insert that. And the last very efficient way to insert a pair, if you want to insert this pair here, instead of bringing it all the way over, you can do this. You can do an R2 prime, F, so you break up this pair, which is fine. You do a U, you undo that move and you just realign it. So there are a lot of efficient ways you can insert pieces like that, and these things will come with time. Just do a lot of solves and do a lot of slow solves as well. They really help you understand how the cube works more, and by doing this you will find more efficient ways to pair pieces as well as insert pieces. Tip 2. S2L. This is where your main improvement will come from. The important things to work on here are rotating less and efficiency. S2L's look ahead is much easier than F2L, so you should learn to remember pieces that are important. Let me show you what I mean. So here, as you can see, this pair is done. I still need to do this pair as well as the star piece. So at this point, what I would have done is I would have solved this star piece, but I would remember this corner, because this is one of the 2 F2L corners that I have left. So I would insert this, like that, but I remember this, this pair, which I would solve like that. And as I'm inserting this, I know the pair is here. Even if I were to go like this, I know this pair is here. So I can just bring it over like that and insert it. So when you do a specific color, so let's say next I will do blue, you would always remember where the blue pieces are. So I can remember where, and it's only like 4 pieces and the star. So from here on, just be efficient and spam TPS. One small thing you can also work on is to first do the pair and then the edge piece. So for instance, in this case, it would have been much more efficient to do first the pair and then insert the star piece. So you should always do what's the most efficient or what you see first. You shouldn't have a strict formula of first doing star piece, then doing the pair. You should do what's the best. Tip 3, second last side. For the second last side, you will have to be able to do any of the 2 star pieces. What I mean by this is, normally when you are a beginner, you would only use 1 star piece. So for instance, I would only do green here. But you should be able to do either of these 2 colors, depending on which is easier. In this case, green would have been easier because I could have just inserted that because there was already a block. So you need to know what times what's the best. So for instance, in this case, purple would be way better to do than green because here's already a really easy case to solve. So what I could do is I could insert this and insert this. So you really need to know which one is the easiest, and this will come with time as well. Just do a lot of practices, and you can actually use CS Timer to practice your second last side. Let me show you how. So at the top middle you would see the left bar there. You can click on that and just go to Megaminx subset, and then the right bar you just say to generator RU, and this will help you practice your last 2 sides. And this is definitely something I would recommend you practice because having a very efficient last 2 sides really makes a big difference as well, which also makes you more confident for your last layer. Tip 4, last layer. For last layer, you don't have to know a lot of OLLs. You can learn some if you want, but it isn't necessary. What you can do is you can take a 3x3 and you can do the inverses of certain OLLs. So for instance, if I were to do the inverse of the T case here like this, then I would get the T case. Now you can know, okay, so this case is the normal T case on a 3x3. So you're not learning new algorithms, you're just learning new cases. So you do it like that. Or you can do the inverse of this case, which is this case, and which is just a very easy OLL, and you can apply them here. So you can do that if you want. It's not extremely necessary because there are lots of OLLs and it won't make a massive difference, but again, to look OLL isn't that slow, but eventually you will have to learn them. PLL on the other hand is extremely important. You have to know at least between 30 and 50 algorithms for sub 50, and also it's a good habit to start early. So some cases I would recommend are all the U-perm cases, or edge cycle cases like this, as well as all the 4 edge cycles, 5 edge cycles, all those cases, because they are very easy to recognize and they are also very quick to execute. And other cases are just normal 3x3 algorithms. So for instance, the Y-perm have 2 cases. With the Y-perm, if the block is here, you can do the inverse of the Y-perm, but if this block was here, then you could just do the normal Y-perm. So here you can just do the inverse of the Y-perm. So that's 2 more algorithms. Other stuff like T-perm. So when you have this 2 bars here, but they are different colors, and this kind of Y-perm thing going on the back, you just do a normal T-perm like that. So stuff like that will really help. Other algorithms that I would also recommend is all the J-perm cases. So not only just the normal J-perm and other J-perm, not only just these 2 cases, but also cases like this, where it's, there we go. So J-perm cases like this, where it's the normal J-perm but with headlights. These small cases are very useful and they are also very easy to recognize. So just learn a lot of new algorithms and try to learn at least like 5 or more each week, and you'll soon know as many PLLs as you need to know. And also it's a good habit to start early because you're going to have to learn them eventually, so might as well learn them earlier so that your recognition can become better over time. Tip 5. Block building. This is the most advanced step in this tutorial, but it is extremely helpful. Block building saves a lot of time, but you will mostly use it during S2L. So how block building works is when you have a 2x1 block like this, with 2 colors of the same that you want to make. So for instance, here I'm doing yellow, and here's 2 yellows. Then there's the basic way and the advanced way. The basic way would be if these 2 colors align, as you can see here. And when it's the basic way, you can just align the edge like this, and now insert the connect the 2 purples like this, and then just realign it. And now you made a 2x2x1 block like this. You can kind of think of block building as just a normal FTL pair. So if you were to do dark green as our main color, then this would just be an FTL pair. But we're not doing dark green, we're doing red. Therefore it's not an FTL pair, you can use it as block building. But this is a harder case, because this is a case where you won't, the 2 red pieces here, when you just insert them like this, it won't align. So what I mean by this is, let's say we align the edge and now we align the two greens. As you can see, it's not solved. So what I would do in this case, if I had this block, you have to bring it all the way over here so that you can make the cream the top side. So what I mean is, you bring it all the way over here and then you connect the green like that and insert it. And this is the last tip I want to give for block building. This is actually a very good tip. When you have, again, a block like this, which you can't do this, but you can, as you can see, you can insert it like this. So therefore, when we insert it, pay attention here. Here's the edge that would be correct. So it's this one. Therefore, we need to align this edge here. Because then when we do an F prime, it pairs it up, and then we can just do this. So that's a very handy tip. You can also use it. It's a bit more advanced and it isn't very intuitive, but it is definitely helpful. So it's kind of the same concept as this, when you have this edge piece and you insert it like that. But instead of that, you just insert an entire block now. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section below. And if you want any help, you can just also DM me on Instagram. It's just Hein, because there I help a lot of people, and you can also send me solves and I can critique it. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I will most likely reply to them. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and peace.